This is Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Devin Haney, the WBC lightweight champion of the world. Of course, Devin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Great time for the lightweight division as one of the main champions, one of the big four world title holders. You must be feeling pretty good about the immediate future.
Yeah, of course. It's a great time to be a lightweight fighter, especially a lightweight champion. Um, they're comparing us to the old days, the four kings of boxing. So I'm thankful to be one of those guys to be compared to such a great era in boxing.
Which one are you, if we are going to compare you guys to the four kings, which of the four do you most identify with?
You tell me, and I'm gonna tell you who I think.
Well, I think almost everyone would probably say Ray Leonard just because you're both American, you're both, technical boxers, you both got great amateur backgrounds. But what do you think?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad shoes to fill, is it?
Of course, he was the guy that came out on top. So that just gives you an idea on what I'm gonna do.
Talking about the four of you guys at the moment, when you're watching the other guys in fights, like we saw Garcia recently against Luke Campbell, we saw Teofimo Lopez with a great win over Lomachenko. Do you kind of have a horse in the race? Are you watching, hoping that the younger guy wins because it creates more drama around you guys?
I just want the best guy to win. Honestly, I think it makes for the winner and me makes for a great fight. Whoever it is. Um, and yeah,
And we saw with the Garcia fight, it was an eliminator, of course, for your title. But it didn't seem like enough talk was made of that during or after the fight when Garcia came out on top. How did you feel about that when you were watching it?
I knew that would happen. I knew that if Garcia won, he would go a different route. He would go towards Tank. He's been saying he wanted the Tank fight for a while now. So it didn't surprise me at all.
I have a lot of sympathy for you, and I don't think I'm alone in that. One of the criticisms that's levelled at you, I find, by pundits and on social media, is that you haven't fought the quality of opposition that some of your rivals have. But you're calling them out all the time, and
Yeah,
it
but see,
seems like they don't want to fight you.
the difference between me and them is that they want to go out and fight other guys, but I don't want to fight the other guys. I want to fight them.
Yeah, I mean, you consistently called out Lomachenko, and he decided to go a different route, which is what led to the whole franchise title thing in his case. Now
Exactly.
you're calling out Teofimo Lopez. He's talking about moving up in weight. Garcia and Tank are talking about fighting each other. I mean, you're still very young. Time's very much on your side, but it must be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's frustrating because at the end of the day, I know that I'm young. I'm 22 years old. I know that the time will come. So it is no rush. At this point in my career, I'm making great money. And I understand that eventually that the time will come. Is I'm going to keep calling for these guys. I'm not going to stop. But when the time comes, I'll be ready.
Did you cringe a little bit every time you heard the Lopez Lomachenko fight described as undisputed?
Yeah, a little bit I did because like I just knew that it wasn't the truth, and ESPN and Top Rank was billing it as that, and but I actually feel like in the beginning, people were started believing in it, and then after the fight, like is when the fans came to my defense and said, "Wait, Devin Haney has a belt. That wasn't an undisputed fight." And I feel like he's undisputed, but he doesn't feel undisputed because if you're undisputed, there is no dispute that you're the champion. But we're all disputing it that he's the champion,
Yeah,
so he can't be undisputed.
he's literally undisputed. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, what more can you do, if anything, to nail down these fights? Because it is you chasing them. It's like I saw in another interview, you said that it was strange that Ryan Garcia fought in an eliminator for your belt, but it was more like you were chasing him or you were pursuing that fight more than he was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what it will take to narrow down the fights. I just got to keep winning, keep beating whoever they put in front of me, and that's it.
And out of those other three guys, other three members of the Fab Four, if you like, um, how do you rate them, kind of one to three? Who do you feel is the toughest challenge, and I don't want to say least tough because they're all very talented, but what's the ranking order for you?
I think Teofimo Lopez. I think um, Tank Davis, and then I think Ryan Garcia.
And is that because Garcia is maybe the least experienced of the three?
Um, I wouldn't say least experience. I would just say just just stylistically, and stylistically, though one of those guys may beat each other, and it may end up that way. But I'm just saying stylistically.
And from what I saw in other interviews, you weren't overly impressed with Garcia's performance against Campbell. You admired his grit for getting off the canvas to win the fight. But in terms of the technique he showed during, you weren't bowled over, it's fair to say.
Yeah. I mean, he went in there, he got hurt. I didn't expect, Luke to be any type of, competition for him, but it was a much tougher fight than, I expected. And even though he got the win and, he showed heart, I just feel like, it was more of a dogfight than I expected.
And you have been chasing this fight with Teofimo Lopez. It's been the one out of all of them that you seem to want the most. What do you see him doing? Because he seems to not want to fight you. He seems to not want to fight George Kambosos, who's hit one of his mandatory contenders. Do you think he'll change weight division now?
No, I don't think he'll change a weight division. I think that he'll stay in 135 for a little bit longer and then eventually go up. I just hope that he doesn't go up without fighting me first.
Well, who else is there out there for him? I know there's good good contenders in the division, the likes of Jorge Linares, Javier Fortuna, but in terms of big marquee fights, if Garcia and Tank are on a collision course, surely it has to be you and Lopez.
It's narrowing down. That's why I don't feel like I don't really feel like I really have to chase the fight as much because it's narrowing down and he's getting cornered.
And I wanted to ask you, you are still just 22 years old, but incredibly talented. What areas have you picked out in yourself, your trainer, your dad as well, who's very involved with your career, that still need to be improved on?
Everything, is I need to polish, everything and, keep, getting better and better and better. You can never do nothing, too great. And, I'm going to keep polishing, my tools and, for that night when that time comes to be ready.
You're very articulate, very composed. Do you ever feel, or does anyone ever tell you from outside of your team that you should be more brash, more critical of other fighters, the trash talk, all that kind of stuff?
No, because at the end of the day, I just, I'm gonna be me no matter what. At the end of the day, I will never, get out of character and not be myself, for money or for fame because I don't feel like it's worth it. I feel like, always be true to yourself and, at the end of the day, you can never lose doing that.
Which factors or which individual people have been most influential in kind of keeping you grounded?
I would have to say my dad by far. My dad is the main reason, why I am who I am.
And is that just through your current relationship, or more just through the grounding he's given you as a kid and through your childhood?
Yeah, through the grounding, through the, the time of coming up and just preparing me for this moment.
And you've done some work in recent times with Floyd Mayweather, of course. He's not your kind of everyday trainer, but his experience and the knowledge he can pass on is invaluable. What sort of things have you learned from him, and how valuable has that time been for you?
I learned a lot, inside the ring and even, part of the business. I'm thankful for to be around him and to be able to learn so much from, I would say the Michael Jordan of boxing. So me being where I'm at in my career and to, pick up jewels and gems from him, I'm forever grateful.
Does the fact that you're quite close to him make a fight between yourself and Tank less likely? The fact that you're quite close, both of you, with Floyd?
No, I wouldn't say that it makes it less likely because it's all a part of it. It's all a part of the business. If me and Tank can come together and Floyd as well come together on an agreement to make a huge fight where we all can make a lot of money, then why not?
You don't want to hang around forever waiting for these kind of marquee fights. You want to stay active, especially during a pandemic when chances are hard to come by. When are we next likely to see you in action?
We're looking at April 3rd to get back in the ring.
And any idea who that could be against if it's not one of the kind of Fab Four?
If it's not, then we will go down next in line. Who's the next available guy? The best available guy as well. Maybe Javier Fortuna, maybe Jorge Linares. We just got to see.
We talked about Teofimo moving up. How are you feeling at the weight at the moment? Is it getting harder each camp, or are you comfortable?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy for me to make 135. I've been saying this for a while now, but for these huge fights, I will do it. If it's to line up one of these huge fights, I'll do it. But if not, then I'll just move up to 140 and campaign there.
Would that be frustrating for you in the big money fights, certainly at the moment, or at 135? I mean, 140, you've got the Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez winner, presumably, or if they don't move up to 147.
I mean, eventually these guys will move up to 140 as well. So, like I said, it is no rush. I'm 22. If it doesn't happen now, then we'll eventually it will. I never heard of a guy that had a whole career and he didn't have one big fight.
That's a very good point.
So I know that eventually it will come.
And we said earlier about which of the original four kings you kind of identified with. We decided on Sugar Ray Leonard. What was it what is it that you admire about him particularly from that era? Is it just that he came out on top, or are there certain elements of his skill set and his personality?
Of course that he came out on top, but him being a well-balanced fighter like myself with speed, power, ring generalship, ring IQ, I just feel like that's me overall.
And he came out on top, of course, and you plan to do the same.
Most definitely.
Great stuff. Really, really appreciate your time. It's always good to catch up with you. Look forward to April the 3rd, and
Yes.
hope it's a fight that really motivates you.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care. Speak soon.
All right.